Welcome back. Currently, we are learning Python, and this is day 10 of the playlist titled Python Beginner Boost. And in this video, we will learn about loops, which is a part of control flow statement, which we have left out because we are learning about tuples, list, set, and dictionaries, which are our data structures. Now we have fair knowledge of the data structure. So now we can learn about loops. So what are loops? So loops allows you to execute a block of code repeatedly, making your program more efficient and flexible. So loops allow us to execute a block of code repeatedly, and let's learn about while loop. So the while loop repeatedly executes a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. So let's look at the syntax of while loop. First of all, the syntax start with the while keyword, and after that we will give some condition. So the interpreter will check if the condition is true, then it will execute the line of code inside this loop, and if the condition become false, then we move out of the loop and continue our normal execution. So while condition, here we will write some condition, and if the condition is true, then we want to execute some part of the code repeatedly. So here we will like execute code if a condition is true, and here it will be normal execution continues if condition evaluates to false. So here we will use the keyword while, and then we will give some condition. If the condition is true, then we will go inside the loop and like execute the statements, and once the condition become false, we come out of the loop and we will jump into the line number 12 and we will execute the lines after that. So this is all about while loop. Now let's learn about it using one example. Let me comment this part. So I will create a variable called count. So let me create a variable called count, and here I want to set it to 0, and I want to print subscribe to my channel 5 times on the screen. So I want to repeat this code 5 times. So for that I will use uh, the keyword while, and what I want to do is I want to print subscribe to my channel 5 times. So I will set the condition as less than 5, and then after that we have to use the colon and press enter. Now what I want to do, whenever this condition is true, I want to print subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I will print here subscribe to my channel, and we will execute this code. But if you execute this code now, then your system will take up all the memories and it will freeze, because this code will never stop executing. Why? Because currently the value of count is 0. Now on line number 17 we are executing a while statement while count is less than 5. So 0 is less than 5, this becomes true. So we will go inside the while loop and we will execute this line, which is to print subscribe to my channel on the terminal. So it will print this line, and then after that we will again go to the top of the loop, which is line number 17, and it will check count is less than 5. As we haven't done any modification to the value of count is again 0, which is less than 5. So it will again go inside the loop and print the subscribe to my channel, and then it will again go to the top of the loop, and we again haven't done any changes to the value of count. So it is 0 and 0 is less than 5. So this will keep happening. So what we have to do is we have to do some modification to the value of count. So at one point of time in future, the code the loop will stop and we will come out of the loop and continue our normal execution. So what we can do is we can increase the value of count after printing the subscribe to my channel on the terminal. So we can increase the value by 1. You can increase it to anything as per your requirement. And after we are done with execution of the while loop, we want to print something like loop execution completed normal execution. So now let's execute this code. So we'll go to the terminal and new terminal, and here I will write python 3, then the name of the file, which is control flow 2.py, and press enter. And as you can see, subscribe to my channel is printed 5 times. After that we printed loop execution completed normal execution. Let me explain you the code. I will bring the code on the screen. So as you can see, currently the value of count is 0. What we can do is we can also print the value of count here. Print count. Let me execute it once again so it will be easy for you to understand. So yes, now first of all, count is 0. While 0 is less than 5, 0 is less than 5, we know that. So this condition will evaluate to true. Then we will go inside the loop. This line will print subscribe to my channel. As you can see, subscribe to my channel is printed. Then what we are doing, we are increasing the value of count by 1. So 0 plus 1 will be equal to 1. That's why on line number 20, 1 is printed, as you can see. And this print statement is the statement on line number 21 is outside of this loop. That's why it is not getting executed, because we haven't completed the loop execution. Now the value of count is 1, so it will again check 1 is less than 5. This condition is true, so it will print subscribe to my channel. Then it will increase the value. So 1 plus 1, it will become 2. That's why print 2. So as you can see, 2 is printed. And again it will go to the top and check for the condition is 2 less than 5. Correct. So it will go inside the loop, print subscribe to my channel. Then it will do this calculation, which is count equals to count plus 1. Currently the value of count is 2. 2 plus 1, it will become 3, and it will print 3 on the screen. As you can see, again we haven't like gone out of the loop. That's why we will go to the top and check if 3 is less than 5. True. So it will go inside the loop, print this line, increase the value by 1, and then print 4. Again 4 is not less than 4 is less than 5. This condition is true. So we will go to line number 18, print this line. Then on line number 19, we will increase the value by 1, which is 4 plus 1, 5. So it will print count, and again loop execution. The value will become 5. So we will go to the top, 5 less than 5. This is false, because 5 is always equals to 5. So the loop will break here, or the loop execution will stop, and we will directly jump to line number 21, which is loop execution completed normal execution. So as you can see, after printing the value 5, it is printing loop execution completed. So that's it about the while loop. Now we will learn about the for loop in Python. So the for loop is used to iterate over a sequence such as list, set, strings, tuples, etc., or any iterable object. So iterable objects are the one which we have seen in the earlier videos, like list, tuples, or strings, etc. It executes a block of code for each item in the sequence. So let's look at the structure of the for loop. So the for loop is like this. We have to use the keyword for, and then we have to have some iterating variable. So we have to create one variable here, and this variable can be named anything. Currently we are using the name item for that, and for item in a sequence. So this sequence can be a list, tuple, string, or any iterable object. And after that we will use the colon, and for every item in this sequence we want to do some execution. So here like we will write code block to execute for each item in the sequence. So the code which we want to execute for each item in the sequence will go inside this loop, and once we have executed this code for every item of the sequence, then we will come out of the loop, and here out of the loop, and normal execution will begin. So this is how the for loop will look like. So let me explain it to you using one code example. So we will again use the example of a list which will be named as fruits, as we are doing in the earlier video. So I will create a list called fruits, and here we will add some items or elements to this list, which is apple. Then let me add banana. Then let me add cherry. Then let me add watermelon. Let's save it. So we have created a list named fruits, and now we want to print each element of the loop. So what we can do is, there are two ways. Like the first way is we can print fruits and we can pass the index, which is in this case 0, and we can do it for every item, as you can see. So 1, 2 and 3. We have to write print statement 4 times if we want to print individual values on new lines. So if I execute this code, you can see apple, banana, cherry and watermelon are printed. But we can do this by writing 2 lines of code using for loop. So let's do that. So I will remove this part, as you already know this. So now we will use for, and we have to create one variable. So the name of the list is fruits. So we will create a variable into the singular forms, which is for fruit in fruits. So for each item in the fruits list, we want to print them. So print fruit and save it. So now if I execute this code, you can see apple, banana, cherry and watermelon are printed on screen. So this is how loops help us to easily access each element. And now let's learn about some new thing, which is again a part of loop. So we will learn about range function in loop. So we are having a function called range. So let me go to here, and we are having a function called range which we can use with loops. So for range, and it will have three parameters: start, stop and step. So as we have already seen on list slicing, it is having the similar structure. The start is inclusive, stop is exclusive, and step is how we want to jump to the next element. So let's try to learn about range. So let me explain you what is range. So we can explain it like this. The range function returns a sequence of numbers from the starting value. So it will returns a sequence of number from the starting value to the stopping value, and but the stopping value is not included with a step size, which is by default set to 1. So this is range function. Now let's try to generate some sequence of number using this range function. So for we have to, again we know that we have to create one variable here. So for num in, we will use the range, and here if we pass only one variable, one value, then it means we are uh, telling our code that it is the stop value. So if we pass only one value to the range function, then it means we are passing only the stop value. So now let's try to print the number. Let's, what just happened? Okay, let's try to print this number. So as you can see, 0 1 2 3 4 is printed, as we haven't given the starting index or start, we haven't given, so it has automatically by default chosen the start as 0 and the stop is one value less than whatever we are giving here. So we are giving 5, so it is stopping at 4. So what if we want to start the generation of sequence from 3 till 100, not 100, let's do 4 3 to 20. Then how we can do that? So we have to give the start and we have to give the stop, but we can't give 20 because we have to stop at 20. So we will give one value more than 20, which is 21, and we will save our code, and you will see the number from 3 to 20 will be printed on the screen. So as you can see, the numbers are printed on the screen. So this is the power of range function in Python. Let me help let me explain you how to use the step parameter of this. So suppose if I want to generate the number like this 1 3, every alternate number I want to print onto the screen till 21. I can do it using this step method. So I want to start at 1, so I will give 1, and I want to stop at 21. That's why I will give one value more than it, which is 22, and here I will define the step. So by default step is 1. So if I give 1 here, it will generate all the number from 1 to 22. Let me execute this code. As you can see, if I make it bigger, all the number from 1 to 22 are printed. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 are printed. But now I want to like only print the alternate number. I can do that using the step size. I will increase the step size to 2, so it will now print 1 3 5 7, and continuously it will print till 22. As you can see on the screen, every alternate number is printed. 1 3 5 7 9 11 13 15 17 19 and 21 are printed. So now I am giving you assignment. I want you to print this sequence. So 5, then 9, then 13. I want you to print this sequence till 21. So you have to do little bit modification in this code, and then it will be able to print it. So take your time and do the assignment, and I am explaining you how I will approach it. So I need to start at 1, so I will keep the start as 1, and I want to stop it at 21, so I will keep the stop value as 22, but I will increase this to 3. Let's save it, and you can see that the range, the number which are generated are not equal to what we want to generate. As you can see, I have done some mistake. 1 4 7 is printed and we want 5, so I think we need to add one more value to it, which is 4. Let's save it and let's execute this code, and as you can see on the screen, 1 5 9 13 17 and 21 are printed on the screen. So that's it about the loops. Let me also explain you about iterating over the string using for loop. So let me create one string, word, which is Shubham Lashkan, and I want to print every character of the string. This I can do using again the for loop. So for character in, so char, we can create any variable here, and we want to iterate over this string. So I will use the name of the string, which is word, and then I want to print every character. So I will use print char, and let's execute this code. So it will print every character on new line, as you can see on screen. SHUBHAM, then space, then Lashkan is printed on the screen. So that's it about for loop and while loop in Python. We have also learned about the range method, which is a very important concept in the Python. You should like go back to this video and watch it again if you are having any doubts, and also comment your doubt in the comment box and your suggestion in the comment box, and thank you very much.